Hey guys, Ben Hart here, and we are going to be learning on the Telecaster or the electric guitar the song When I Get Carried Away. Let's listen to a intro and the first chorus to get the feel of the song, and then we'll jump in on how to play it.
I'm gonna let the glory roll in the roll is called in glory. I'm gonna get beside of myself when I get beside the King. That day I'm gonna have the time of my life when the time of my life is over. I'm gonna get carried away when I get carried away.
Okay, so first things first, it's in the key of G. The timing is 4/4. Okay, so it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so let's talk about the chords and rhythm that you need, and we'll also throw in that band lick in this lesson. All right, so the rhythm of the song is just kind of this old chunking country rhythm, and we're just doing this. Okay, so first off, we need some chords. So we need G, C, and D, and there's also a G over a B. So the G we're going to use is this bar chord G right here. All right, so it's just G on the 3rd fret. That's the G note, 3rd fret of the E string, and we're holding down a low, and we're going to play some bass notes. We're just going to play the bass guitar and kind of a chunking thing in between. We're going to go to a D right here. No, so... and we're going to palm mute it. So to get that sound that I'm wanting, kind of that old country chunking sound, I don't know if chunking's the right or not. We're going to palm mute kind of the first 2 strings the best that we can. We may hit the 3rd one or not, and we just kind of lean it. So to palm mute is to not to lay our palm on the strings right here, and you don't want it open. You want it just kind of just on there where it's kind of in between. All right, and that takes a little bit of practice, but keep after it, you'll get it. So we're doing that. All right, boom, 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 boom. But we're doing a full bar chord here of G. So we're going G, and then the 5th fret of D and G there, and we're going, and then we're kind of doing that in between, and we're kind of letting up on our left hand. So boom, chunk, and kind of letting up there. Same way with C here. So we're doing the 3rd fret, which is this low C note. Oh, and we're alternating back and forth, G and D, and then in between 1, 2, 3, 4. So 1 and 3 is the palm mute bass notes. 1, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, and then the chord, kind of these 2 notes. And you can do a full bar chord if you want, if you want 3 notes. That full E, but I'm not going to. There we go. Wasn't getting it in clear enough. All right, so C right here, we're going to do this bar chord also, or this power chord, I guess. C note on the 3rd fret of the A string, and then kind of barring these 3 strings right here, makes up this C triad chord down here on the 5th fret. And we're going, the bass note is going 3rd fret A string, then 3rd fret E string. And we're going to add the chord in between it. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, now D, same thing, but we're going on the 5th fret here to this low D note. And we're going back and forth from the 5th fret from D to A. And then barring the 7th, these 3, this little D triad. We're almost not even getting that chord loud. We're not going. Just. All right. Sometimes there's a G over a B, and I'm just going to play a bass note and kind of sustain it. And I even kind of add a little vibrato. You can do some. I'm not going to. All right. So let me play through the chorus of this, and then we will talk about the band lick. Oh, another note is when you're getting ready to change chords, you don't want to change on the alternate note. So if I'm in G and I'm alternating to D over that G chord, I don't want to then change to C after I just hit that D note. So if you know the measure before that you're going to hit, go 1, 2, 3, 4 and hit G twice. 1, 2, 3, 4. So that bottom bass note, your root note that you're playing on when you're over a G chord, you hit that twice. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. And then when you're going to change, same way with C, if you're going to change to D, C. Here we go. And sometimes there's only one measure, so you got to just do it twice. You don't alternate at all. All right. So we're going to be using that, so try to pay attention to that. And that takes a little bit of doing in the beginning, and after a while, it's like breathing. So stay after it. All right. So the chorus, I'm going to let the glory roll in the roll. So we're on G. Glory roll in the roll is called in glory. Oh, glory roll when the roll is called. All right, so we're going back and forth from a G. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2. And then that 3 and 4 we're going to sustain because there's a G over B. Just a B note. Called in. Then glory, we're to C. Glory. All right. All right, so here's something we're going to do. Now we could just go glory, C, C twice, and then we're going to D, but I'm going to go one measure of C, and then I'm going to go, while palm muting, C, 3rd fret, 2nd fret B, C, 3rd fret, 4th fret, C sharp, and then that gets us to the D chord. So the bass guitar does that, and you can kind of play along with that. You don't have to do that, but I'm going to. So I'm going to let the glory roll when the roll is called. Oh, sorry. I'm going to let the glory roll when the roll is called in C. Glory. I'm going to get beside my. Now we're to D. I get beside. So D, back and forth. D, D. All right. Get beside the G. That day, I'm gonna have the time of my life. So we're getting ready to go to G over B, so I'm gonna go 2 G's right before that. Time of my life, G over B, so we're just gonna sustain, and I'm not palm muting. My life is to C over, we'll do that lick again. I'm gonna get carried away to D, I get carried away. All right. So I'm going to do that one more time, nice and slow, and I'll call out the chords. I'm going to let the glory of G, B, C, going to D. Love when I get beside the G that day. I'm going to have the time of my life when I G over B to C. Walk to D, get D. I get carried up, band lick. Do it like that. Okay, so here's that band lick. We're playing in the pentatonic blues scale here. So if you don't know what that is, it's fine. You can follow along. I would find out what that is, though. We'll go over that in another lesson. G note, 5th fret on the D string. And then 3rd fret on the D string. 5th fret on the A string. And then we're going to pull off from the C sharp, which is 4th fret, to the 3rd fret on the A string. So, and then G. So I kind of hit that first one, da, da, and then go. Da, da, da. Okay. Now we're just gonna hold that G note, and then we're gonna go to a D chord. We're into the verse. Well, I don't know why I become a little shy. So we're once again 2 measures. So alternate on the first one, don't alternate on the second one. Now we're going to a C. There's only 1 measure, so we're just gonna pump a C bass note twice. Get around a whole lot of back to G people, and I should have just 1 measure of G people. And I, D, can't figure out why I never can shout. Back to G, floods my soul, I must confess. G over B, the feelings, so C, feelings deep in G, to C, to G, to D, now band lick. And then we're gonna do this little from the A note, but the 5th fret on the E string, slide to the 7th, which is a B note, to the 7th fret up to this D, and that is going to be your C over D, because we're just going to hit the bass note with it. And then that gets us into another chorus. All right, so, well, I don't know why I become a little shy when I C to G, and I can't figure out why I never can shout about the love that floods my soul. I must express, I can't express feelings deep inside me, things I know and cannot show, one day will overflow. I'm gonna let the glory roll when the roll is called in glory. I'm gonna let the side of myself when I get beside the King. That day I'm gonna have the time of my life when the time of my life is over. I'm gonna get carried away when I get carried away. All right. And then there's a last chorus where we just hit the bar chords and we just kind of strum them and let them ring out. I'm gonna let the glory roll when the roll is called in glory. I'm gonna get beside of myself when I get beside the King that day. And then back to rhythm. I'm gonna have the time of my life when the time of my life is over. I'm gonna get carried away when I get carried away. Go back to D. I'm gonna get carried away when I get back to G. Way band lick, and then hit a bar chord and let it fall off. All right. Okay, so if you are playing the intro and you're not going to play the lead stuff, it just comes in on a D. D. Now lick. And then we do that G over C. I'm gonna let the glory roll. Okay, but all that works for all the choruses and all the verses there. So that is the rhythm and the chords and the timing and everything you need to know. We'll see you at the next lesson where we go over the lead stuff. There's a solo over half of a verse and also the intro on the Telecaster.
I'm gonna let the glory roll when the roll is called in glory. I'm gonna get beside of myself when I get beside the King that day. I'm gonna have the time of my life when the time of my life is over. I'm gonna get carried away when I get carried away. Well, I don't know why I become a little shy when I get around a whole lot of people, and I can't figure out why I never can shout about the love that floods my soul. Well, I must confess I can't express the feelings deep inside me, but the things I know and cannot show one day will overflow. I'm gonna let the glory roll when the roll is called in glory. I'm gonna get beside of myself when I get beside the King that day. I'm gonna have the time of my life when the time of my life is over. I'm gonna get carried away when I get carried away. Well, I'll pass the clouds and shout so loud it may sound like thunder, and my tearful eyes may fill the skies until it looks like rain. When I leave this world past the gates of pearl and stand before my Savior, I'll let my soul let the glory roll when the roll is called my name. I'm gonna let the glory roll when the roll is called in glory. I'm gonna get beside of myself when I get beside the King that day. I'm gonna have the time of my life when the time of my life is over. I'm gonna get carried away when I get carried away. got the glory roll, and the roll is called in glory. I'm gonna get beside of myself when I get beside the King that day. I'm gonna have the time of my life when the time of my life is over. I'm gonna get carried away when I get carried away. I'm gonna get carried away when I get carried away.